Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a super special guest, Sunny Andrews, who is an Ifbb wellness pro, and she's like the queen of glutes, queen of legs, 360. Yes, you can tell why she's a top pro. So anyway, we are going to go through our top 6 glute exercises and why you should try them. So make sure you stay tuned.
All right, so this is my favorite glute exercise.
Okay.
The hip thrust. And this is my favorite because I think that I could get the most recruitment from my glutes when I do this exercise, because it's really not working any other muscles. Sometimes a little bit of hamstrings, but I recruit mostly glutes with this exercise.
Right.
And I like to go pretty heavy.
Yeah, you're right too. And I think a lot of times girls that are very quad dominant, that always feel their quad when they squat and stuff, this is great for them because it's really hard to get your quads on here.
Absolutely. And there's so many different variations you can do with the hip thrust. This is just a regular hip thrust, but there's also a B stance hip thrust. You can also do a triple contraction hip thrust. You can do it on a machine. You can do it with a barbell. You can do it with a Smith machine. So they all are slightly different, and I like to incorporate different types of hip thrusts throughout, or even a bridge. Yeah, those are really good too. But this one's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is obviously not that much weight. We're just going to demonstrate the proper form, which is even more important than heavy weight for sure. So proper form for these, your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and your legs should form a 90-degree angle. Your head should stay neutral and not really move too much when you go up and down. And you're really pressing from your heels so that you can engage as much glute as you possibly can. I like to really also focus on my breathing here, because a lot of people let their core kind of loose when they come up to the front, and
That's a good tip. That's something I don't even think about.
well, I got caught doing these in a video once, and it was very unflattering if you're not breathing correctly while you do these. So yeah.
I think another important thing to keep note on this exercise is to allow your chin to move with the position of your spine and not just kind of stick it back and keep it fused there. I think it's a little easier on your back when you do it with your chin following along the whole time.
Another really important thing that she's doing is she's posteriorly tilting her pelvis when she goes to the top, and it makes a completely flat bridge. So this is gonna get the most glute activation that you could possibly have from this exercise. And she's doing it nice and slow. She has a lot of time under tension, so it's breaking as much muscle fibers as it possibly can.
Right. So I see a lot of people on Instagram going super heavy, but their form isn't that great. And I know you're way stronger at these than me, but I mean, especially for this exercise in particular, I think a lot of times we see like the ego lifting on Instagram, where girls are just throwing on plates, have sloppy form, but they're technically lifting it. I always like to concentrate on lighter, more controlled weight, and making sure I don't have sloppy form.
Absolutely. And just another thing about lifting super heavy is like your power lifting, your whole body is going to grow. You have to recruit muscles from everywhere if you're going to lift that heavy. But when you do it with better form and lighter weight, you're really just working on the muscles that you want to grow.
Right.
So you're just going to have bigger glutes instead of having like bigger every single thing.
One of my favorite glute exercises is an RDL, but I like to do mine actually single leg in the B stance. She likes to do double leg.
I do.
So I mean, I like to do the single leg because I feel like I can get so much deeper than just the legs together. But yours is more time efficient. But let's give a little demo here.
I definitely think that single leg exercises are more effective too, but I just my back always hurts when I do them, so that's why I do double leg.
Just goes to show you, everyone is different. We all feel exercises in different areas. But yeah, I've been loving this one lately, and I like to do my single leg deadlifts with my leg position behind me for balance, because I feel like I can really get deep, and a lot of times you'll see single legs being done with the foot coming off the ground. And I feel like in that scenario, it's focused much more on balance than it is with like actually growing the muscle, if that makes sense.
So I like to do double leg because I feel like I can place more emphasis on my glutes, and when I do single for some reason, it's more focused on my hamstrings.
All right, so my next favorite glute exercise is the concentrated curtsy lunge. I have loved this exercise for years, still one of my favorites. I just really like it because of the placement of where I feel the exercise. I usually feel it on my upper outer glute. So yeah, it's been working well for me. It's a great compound exercise. Do you like curtsy lunges?
I love them. And I think I feel the exact same place where you do.
I like to do concentrated curtsy lunges over the alternating because more time under tension. So if we're doing concentrated, that means we're just repping it out on one leg and then switching rather than going back and forth. The more time under tension, the better.
All right, so this is my next favorite glute exercise. It is a Sumo Squat with a deficit. So I think you have more range of motion when you do this. It's really good to have a tempo of an eccentric movement of 3 seconds, so you really have a lot of time and attention. And then I don't really pause at the bottom, so I keep coming back up. And I like to have my toes slightly pointed out, like this. And then drop down, come back up. Really squeeze the glutes together. This can be an abductor work if you just use your thighs, but if you squeeze your glutes, give me a glute exercise. Yeah, I really feel it. Pressing from your heels, getting as much depth as you possibly can. That's why it's good to have these benches. Usually I go a lot heavier when I do these, but as long as if you have a lighter weight, you can just do more reps. I usually like to use the pit chart for sumo squats because then you can go really heavy and you don't have to incorporate your upper body. Sumo squats with a dumbbell or a barbell, you can really not avoid using your back, so it doesn't really turn into a wellness exercise anymore.
All right, so the last glute exercise is my current favorite. It used to be the curtsy lunge for years, but now this is my favorite. And the reason why is I feel like I can really like get a good contraction, good burn in like basically all the areas of my glutes, which is incredible. So this exercise is very deceiving because it doesn't look like much until you're on those last few reps, and then it's like, whoa. So when we're doing this exercise, it's very important to make sure that the weight falls slowly down, push up, and then when you're at the top, really squeeze that glute and make sure that throughout this whole range, your knee is straight, it isn't bending in, it isn't bending out. And I just wanted to note, my 3 glute exercises that I picked, do you know what they have in common?
They all incorporate the glute medius?
Well, yes, but they're all unilateral movements. I love me some unilateral movements because this will help balance out your muscles. Likely one of your muscles on one side is stronger than the other. Unilateral movements are great for that and also for preventing injuries. So yeah, let's get to it.
Let's do it. Those are great.
That's a wrap. Well, thank you so much for sharing your tips with me and your glute exercises. And I'm definitely going to incorporate those into the next training section. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. That was fun.
Yes. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I will talk to you later. And make sure to follow Sunny on her socials if you want to go ahead and shout out your socials.
Thank you, I appreciate that. My Instagram is Dr. Sunny Andrews, and my YouTube channel is Sunny Andrews. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'll see you later.